Thank you for everyone joining me tonight on this webinar regarding the analyzer in the Bourse Analyzer software. So first thing I'm going to start off with is showing everyone how to actually access the analyzer. Hopefully you can hear and see my screen. So what I'm going to do now is just start walking through how to access the analyzer and how to use the analyzer. So first things first, we go across the top here, and in the top menu there, you're going to see Analyzer itself. Okay, so when you see Analyzer, it'll go blue to show that it's actually selected. Okay, and then in that drop-down menu, you'll see Analyzer. That automatically opens up a brand new tab for us, where it logs into the Analyzer part of the software. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough in the actual analyzer itself, the layout, what's available in it, and then we'll go through how to actually use it in a scan. So first things first, top one, we got the formula. So these are basically the preset indicators or studies, as they're now called, of what we can use to actually scan the market. There's 17 indicators in there. I basically went through and looked in the old system. For the first version of this software, of this analyzer software, what are the key tools that clients will need to actually scan the market? Please bear in mind this is our first version of the analyzer software. So later on, feel free to send me an email if you want any particular indicators. I know in the next iteration or stage 3 of the analyzer that come out, we want to do things like you being able to create your own formulas you can scan with, so multiple indicators. Okay, and obviously stage 2 that I've always raised with you guys is the preload indicators. So those will be available not only in the charts but in the actual analyzer itself. So if we go back and look at the formulas here, we can go through and just whatever you want, you left click to select it. Nice and simple. Next thing along we got is our watch list. So it's got a real mix here of your system watch lists. So these are ones that you can actually access in your Bourse Analyzer in the watch lists here. Okay, so your 20, 50, 100, 200, 300, all ords and indices. If we go back here, you can see all those except for indices, which isn't really applicable for us. And also your user watch list. So see all the ones that I've created when I've been testing things and talking to clients like yourself on the phones. Analysis date, as today is the 14th, it's always going to show you the previous day because when it scans, it always scans on the previous day's information. So if you want to do yesterday's the 13th, absolutely fine. If you want to do Mondays, which is the 12th, select it, bang. You can select it that way. Next one along is called Look Back. So if you go, okay, I want to do a scan of the market. I'm just going to use, for example, the 9th of February here. And I'll do a look back of 4. Over these previous 4 days, did what I'm looking for in the formula occur? So essentially, did the price go above or below a certain level there? So you'll look back on the 8th, 7th, 6th, and 5th. So that's how that works. And I'll use that further on in the actual presentation, showing you how you can actually use it and where it actually displays within the actual results. Okay, next thing along we got is our intervals. So obviously I prefer to use scan on the daily information, but you can also do weekly and monthly. Okay. Next one along is if you go to the far right here, you got filters. So like in the old system, you can actually set up to actually use different price ranges in here. So it's more of used for, okay, I'm doing a scan, I'm getting like 30, 40 results, but I want to look at a particular price range of, say, $1 to $5 and how much volume they're doing an average each day. It kind of filter out ones that have a fantastic price movement, but they're doing very little volume, and that's not really applicable for you. Okay. Now we'll look at, I'll just close the filters off just to get those out there. And depending on which formula select, you'll have the different formula fields at the bottom. And I'll go through those in a little bit later on. So that is, I know it's pretty simple, but that's the essentially the basics of the fields you can actually manipulate in the analyzer part of it. So I guess as there's not that much else in there to show you, let's go through a couple of scenarios and I'll show you how we can adjust basically the formulas and the criteria in there to modify the results and what we're going to look for. Then when we get the results, I'm going to go into the system and I'll show you visually on the chart what they look like. So they'll make a lot more sense. So the first scenario I want to do is basically a Bollinger Band crossover. Okay, so I go up to the formulas up here. Okay, and in there you got Bollinger Band crossover, so I click on that. Okay, so in the formulas it says Bollinger Band crossover. The watch list I want to scan is the top 200 because I really want to get a couple of results. For the analysis date, I want to select yesterday, which is absolutely fine. I just want to do yesterday's one, so I won't be using any lookbacks, and the interval is going to be a daily. Okay. So the period that I'm looking back is 20 trading days, as it's set to a daily one there. So that's a good 4 weeks worth there. I'm going to keep it nice and simple on the style and leave it as a simple. Obviously, if you want to do it on your weighted or exponential moving averages on your Bollingers, you can use those, but I'll keep it nice and simple. I'm going to leave the deviation on 1. Normally it defaults to 2 in the system, so it's just more something to be aware of. I'm going to base it on the high price, is in your open, high, low, close. But we do have a couple other options in there. So it's really up to you going through and selecting what you want in there, to which value to calculate it off. A lot of time people choose off the closing price of it, but I'm going to use it off the high price because I'm looking for a crossover on there. Okay. So in the direction, in the cross direction, I want it to be crossing above the Bollinger Band, the upper Bollinger Band. So it's either crossed above or it's above at that particular moment or that particular day. You can set it to run on either one of those cross directions, and as I mentioned before, I set it on the upper band. So these two values here, especially the cross direction, so if I go cross below and I can do lower band, it's going to give me vastly different results than what I would get if I did a cross above and the upper band. Okay. So those are the settings I'll be using for this analyzer scan. So as this new system, the actual analysis is a lot quicker. So we see on the far right corner here, the blue analyze button there. So if I click on that, that's scanning the whole top 200, and it's giving me 3 results. And I've actually run this scan before, so it does run a little bit faster, but you'll find the speed is really good on these analyzers, on the analysis of it, because it's all server side, so it's much better for you. Okay, so we've got 3 different results here. We'll go through these columns. So symbol, we're all well aware of. The last price on there. Okay, the volume. So this, when we look at these 2 columns here, if we want to filter it, we go up to the filters here and go, okay, I want to get stocks greater than, say, because we got a Seek here at $20.10. I want to have it say $22 and say $75. So that will basically filter out REA and Seek. So if I go to filters here and I go 22 and I go 75, so they'll get rid of, they'll filter out REA and Seek and just leave JHX in there. Okay, and I'll go analyze. It should. There we go. So it's just left James Hardy in there as our one result. If I clear that, rerun the scan, there we go. Those both of them come in there. You can play with the same settings in your volumes as well. If you want to have more than say $500,000, it's going to take out the REA stock there. That's fine. Okay. So basically the positive result is the high price, which is here, the price type of 23.18 on the James Hardy has crossed above the Bollinger Band at $23.12. The last period is when it actually triggered, so which is the 13th, which is the one we wanted, and the look back period was 0 because we didn't set nothing in there. Okay. We can look in the bottom left corner here. We got the Bollinger Band crossover, did on the 14th, and yeah, we've got the 3 results here. Okay, so now we go down to the bottom right corner here, and then we can start looking at, we've got a couple of different functions here that you probably haven't had before. We've got the export. So when we export, that's going to create a Excel document. So see in the bottom left corner here, it's created a Excel document. If I open that up, okay, so it's giving basically exactly those same 3 stocks we had before with those same criterias that we've had within the analyzer results there. So it's just a mirror image. So if you want to keep an eye on it, it's all dated and timestamped, so it's easy to remember for you guys. Okay, I won't save that. Okay. So the other option here is something called Saves as Watch List. Because the Bourse Analyser is a little bit separate to the actual Bourse itself, so the analyzer part's actually separate to the Bourse itself, we've built something in here called Save as Watch List. So if I actually want to have a look in the Bourse Analyzer what these results actually look like, I'll go to Save as Watch List, and I go, so I'm going to go BB for Bollinger Band, and I'll just say, okay, today's date. Okay, that's my Bollinger Band scan, and the date that I ran it. I'll hit save. Okay, now if I go back into my Bourse Analyzer at the top, okay, I'll just close that for a second, then I click on it again, and we look down here. Now we've got a new watch list in there. It's called BB 2018-0214. Okay, and already it's actually brought up my 3 codes in there. So I'm just going to jump onto a new tab, and we'll just create basically a results tab here. So I'm going to call it results. Okay, I'll go up to my market data. I'll go to watch list. Okay, I'm going to select my BB watch list there because I want to have a nice big chart on my screen. I'm just going to resize that so it's nice and small. It doesn't take up too much real estate. Then I want to have a look on a chart. So remember, I go over to company data, then advanced charts. Okay, I'm just going to resize that window as well so it's nice and big for everyone. Now I'm going to go through and, okay, I've got 3 positive results on the criteria I'm looking for. How can I visually see those? So now I'm going to go up to studies up here. Okay, just like we've done on all the other ones, we're going to go to add. And we're going to add a Bollinger. So either you can scroll down or you can be just use the way I do it. I just do a little search and I select Bollinger Bands. Now, if we go back to here for a second, we go, okay, so it's a Bollinger Band 20 in the period, and the deviation is a 1. I know by default that this is going to be a deviation of 2, so it's something I need to be aware of. So as always, if you put your cursor over the Bollinger Band, see how it goes basically bold on the lines there, and we can actually see it says, okay, Bollinger Band 20, 2, and it's a moving average. So I want to modify that. So it says right click to manage on a right click. Then you see it says edit Bollinger Bands, a left click on that. Okay. So it brings up my settings here. Remember, as always, you can always go up to studies and then click on the little cog. Okay, it'll bring up the same information there. So as it's on the price type of high, you see that right here. So I need to go to the high. The period was a 21, standard deviation of 1. Okay, I'll turn off the fill there. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so that's not giving me results because I'm looking at AMP, not James Hardy. So fingers crossed. When I click on that, let's zoom right in so we can actually have a look at it. Okay, I need to actually turn on my crosshair tool. So remember, I'll go to display across the top here, and I go to crosshair. Okay, now I used the plus and minus one there to zoom right into it. Now I'll put my cursor on there. All right, so we see that it's at the bottom, right at the bottom there on the price, on the date there, it says the 13th, which is absolutely correct. Okay, and we see that the Bollinger, the actual bar there, let's move my cursor over a bit. I was going to actually, what I'll do is I'll highlight it for everyone so we can see it nice and clearly. So remember, I went to drawing tools up here. Okay, and I was going to get an ellipse. Make it nice and yellow. Okay. I'm going to draw a line, a circle around that. Even I have problems with it. Let's try from there. No, it's not liking me. Hang on. Okay. So see how on here it's got this on the 13th. We can see that that actual Bollinger Band upper, it's crossed over on that particular day. Okay, and that's on the high price, which is all the way up here at about 23.39. Okay, so we can actually see that it's actually crossed over that upper Bollinger Band on that particular day. So if we keep on that same train of thought there, I'll just delete it accidentally. We go look at REA. I should have known better. I should have saved that as a layout. So if I go to Bollinger Bands, I re-add that. I should know better teaching you guys this. Actually, I'll need to zoom out. There it comes back. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the high price, 21. Fill, save. Okay, I'm just going to go to my layouts here, save as BB for Bollinger Band. Okay, so now if I go to REA, look at that. On the 13th, it was well and truly above the Bollinger Band there. So in theory, if we ran the scan tomorrow morning, we'd get a positive result for REA being above the upper Bollinger Band. Okay. If we ran it on Seek, there we go. For yesterday, the 13th, we got another positive result saying that it's crossed above. The high price is basically above the upper Bollinger Band. Okay, so that's just a simple way how we can visually see the results we're getting. Okay, so that's the first scan I want to show you. The second one, we'll go back into the Bourse Analyzer, to the actual analyzer itself. I want to do one that's slightly different for you. This one's going to be a price and volume increase, and I'm going to spend a bit more time playing around with your filters. Okay, so we'll go up here. We're going to go to price volume increase. There we go, right there. So formula is the price and volume increase. The watch list I want to use is the top 200. Okay, the analysis date I want to use is the 13th, so yesterday. We're going to do a look back of 0, so I just want to do yesterday's data and nothing else. Okay, now we've got it's on daily data. Okay, and I want to do it so it's got a direction of up. So the volume and the price have increased for that day. So let's just run a scan just to see how many results we get. And then what we might need to do is just pare it down, just to basically filter it down just to get less results, essentially. So I'll go to Analyze. Ooh, see. I can see in the top 200, we've had 42 results. See across the bottom there? That have positive results for price and volume increase. Okay, so if we look at top result, which is ASX, it's had a 0.24% increase and a 5.66% volume increase. Okay, so that's too many results for me. I don't have the time to look at that. And because I don't have much money, I want to basically filter it out and look at stocks that I can really afford. So let's try it this way. So let's go to your filters up here. Okay, because I don't have much money, I can only spend. I want to spend between $1 and $10 in my range. Okay, okay, and because I'm a bit picky, I don't really want stocks that don't trade much. I want to get good stocks, trade quite a bit of volume, good price range that I know they're actually on a good run upwards, or at least had a price and volume increase for the previous day. So I'm going to select that they have a volume greater than. So when I clicked on volume there, it's currently set to none. Okay, so I'm going to select greater than. And let's go, okay, let's do 5 million, okay? So go 5. All right. So that's all fine. If you stuff up, you can always clear it, okay? You want to clear that out. So let's try that. So that should give us a lot more results. You look at the ASX, only had 285,000. So this is going to really filter out a lot of these stocks in here that don't have big volumes. So let's hit Analyze. All right, so we've gone from 42 to 7. So you see 7 across the bottom there. Okay, so I was going to sort that alphabetically. Okay, so we look at our last price here. Last price are all between $1 and $10. Okay, so that's what we wanted. Our last volume is greater than 5 million. So that's all correct there. So all these results we've got here are basically narrowed down from 42 to 7. To basically get my range that I'm really interested in. So let's do it like we did previously. Let's go to Save as Watch List, and we go price volume increase. I'll go put the date. Okay. So we hit save on that. Let's go back to our Bourse Analyzer here. Now let's clear this down. So let's clear my drawings, and I'm going to remove all my indicators so I'm nice and fresh. Okay. And now we'll go up to the watch list here. Okay, going to change it from the Bollinger Band scan to the price and volume increase. Okay, and then we got our 7 results there, 7 positive results. Okay, let's resize this. Okay, so let's start with our EVN. Okay, so if we're looking at price and volume increase, we need to add the volume on there. So we go to studies across the top. Let's go to add. Okay, let's go to volume. So we'll go down to volume chart there. Okay. Okay. So let's just make our volume a bit bigger so it's easy to see. So I'm going to go down to the bottom here. When I get to the divider, hopefully you can see there's a double-ended arrow. Okay. Like with your charts and watch lists, when you go to the edge, you get the double-ended arrow. If you hold the left mouse button down, that means you can drag it up to resize the window. So if I hold that and I drag it up, I can make my volume much bigger. Okay. Now, as our rule is, it's got to be greater than 5 million volume. Okay. Let's do it. Let's draw something on there to basically distinguish that. So let's go to your drawing tools across the top. So top right corner, then we go to drawing tools, and let's do a horizontal line. Okay, everyone can see that? So in the horizontal line, it's a nice blue color. Yeah, let's leave it a nice dark blue. Okay. Okay, so wherever I put my cursor here, remember on the right side there, in the volume there, you're going to see where it's got the price scale there. And if I bring it down to just on 5 mil. Okay, it's just 5.02 million, close enough. So if we look from, if we bring it up on here, if we look at the actual bar chart there, on the actual bar, the actual price has increased from the previous day. So we know that's a positive. So it's a nice green bar. It's closed on a higher than the previous day. And then we look at the volume. It's above 5 million. So both positive results on that. If we go through GMG, we look at for the 13th there, well and truly over 5 million. Okay, and it's a nice green bar as well. Let's look at IAG, green bar from the 12th, and then we look at that, just over 5 million. Fantastic. MGR, another repeat, hit all the criterias, correct. NPL, very close. not much volume there, and even the price ranges are fine. It's around $3. It's all positive there. SGP, yep, it's around just under $4. Nice green bar, well and truly over 5 million. And VCX, green bar, means it's up for the day, and well and truly over 5 million the volume there. Okay, so that's how you can use the filters in the actual chart, also in the actual analyzer itself, to help you basically reduce the amount of results that you get. So it's a bit easier to basically digest the amount of results you're going to get. So next thing I want to move on to is another type of scan where we're going to use the look back function in there. So we look back historically to see when it actually triggered in the chart as well. So I'm going to clear all my drawings. I just want to remove all my indicators so it's nice and clean. We'll go back up to the Bourse Analyser across the top. So this one I'm going to actually use a totally different indicator. It's going to be the momentum indicator. So I can see whether it's having upwards momentum or downwards momentum. Okay, so go to our formulas. Okay, and in our formulas there, we're going to a momentum crossover. So this basically means it's looking which direction is crossing, up or down. Okay, so we'll go to momentum crossover. All right, selected. Let's scan the top 200 as well. We could do the 300 if you want. I'll do the 300, but we'll see what results we get. Actually, let's do the All Ords. Okay. So, analysis date, 13th. Fantastic. Let's keep it as that. Let's do a look back of 5. For the past 5 trading days. It's not calendar days, it's actually trading days. We'll base it on a daily interval. I'm going to clear my filters. I don't want any filters in this one. I don't think we need it. Okay. So, the period, we're doing a 20 day look back, so 20 trading day look back, 4 weeks. The cross direction I want is above, and the value I want is 1. Okay, so let's run our scan. So this is about 500 codes. I think I'm getting a lot of results. All right, not that many. So we got 13 results. Absolutely fine, absolutely good. All right, so we've been nice and vague on this one. Okay, let's have a look at some of these results here. First result, you got A2 milk in here. Okay, so it's got a momentum of 1.13. So it's a cross above. So it's an increase on the momentum of the actual stock. So it looked back on the 9th of February. So remember, we're doing a 5-day look back. So previous 5 days. So if we bring up a calendar on here. All right. So if we look back here on the 13th, it looks back at the previous 5 days, which takes us back to the actual 7th or 8th. So that's why it's triggered on the 8th for us, and the 9th. So on the 9th, yeah. That's why we got a fair few positive results on the 8th as well. We can see those up here. For DMP, JB, James Hardy again. The stock's doing quite a bit. Okay. So it's got the last period when it triggered and the look back period when it occurred previously as well. So let's go through. It's saved as a watch list. So we're going to have a look in the chart to see what it actually looks like in the system. So we go, so look back, LB. Actually, I don't want that. I want a momentum crossover. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, momentum crossover. Okay, that's on the All Lords. Let's hit save. Okay, let's go back into your Bourse Analyser. We'll go up to the top right corner. Let's select our momentum crossover for the 14th when we ran it. And there we are. There we are. We've got all our results there. So let's go through. Let's select A2 milk. Okay. And let's go and add the momentum indicator on here to see when it had a crossover. So if we go to add in the studies, and then we go to momentum. Okay, momentum indicator. Bang. All right. So if we go to, actually, I'll make it a bit easier. I'll go to DMP. We see, if we go back here previously on DMP, it crossed over on the 8th of Feb with a look back of 3. So we're going to look back to the 3rd, so the 8th of the 3rd. I'll use my crosshair, crosshair, crosshair. Bang, there it is. Okay. Just having a squeeze. Okay, so where it's looking back here is previous to that on the 9th, it had over the previous bars there, it had basically a momentum increase of 1.13%, I think it was. Just having a look. DMP. I actually had 3.36%. So for those previous 3 days there, the momentum increased by 3.36% over there. So this is what this tool is used for. So when you do your scanning of the market, it's basically finding stocks that have the momentum increase in there. So you can use those for your basically looking for your breakout stocks essentially, where they've had a momentum change in the stock itself. So we can also have a look at something like, let's have a look at James Hardie again. Okay, and it's got a lot more, I guess, a shallow momentum in there. So it had a positive result on the 9th of Feb. Okay, and over those, look back there, bang, bang, it's an increase by 1.14%. So it's had a slight momentum increase in here. We can also use this in a basically reversal as well. So we can have a look to see which stocks are going down. So in theory, we could use that same criteria if we were going from look back even further from the second of the second. You can see it's had a momentum reversal over this period here. I'll just do a little rectangle on here. So if we look at this period here, you'd class that as a momentum basically reversal from the previous period here, where it had tremendous upwards momentum there, and it's had a reversal here. So this is what this tool will help you find out is what stocks are having big trend changes in here. So let's have a look at, say, Macquarie. See, Macquarie's very choppy. It's a bit hard to determine. But if you have a look here, you definitely see that it's had a, actually from here, let's clear that one. It's had very much a trend reversal from here to here. Then it's had another trend reversal going here to here. And Macquarie triggered actually on the 13th, they had one. So if we look here, it's had a very minor one around about here, where it had a reversal from the 9th. So that's what the scan result was picking up. From here to here, it actually had a momentum reversal where it increased by 1.14%. 1.41%, yeah. So this is how this tool is used. It's basically looking for momentums in a stock. So it's an increase in the price and the volume most normally in the system. So a lot of these indicators, like especially momentum, there's about 50 indicators so far of the 115 that I've actually started documenting, and we're in the midst right now of actually building our own help section within the on the Bourse Data website. So a lot of these indicators, you're not exactly sure how the hell they work. Because I went through myself when we first got them and went, all right, we've got 115 indicators, they're fantastic. What the hell does the alligator do? How can you actually calculate that? Even now that I look at it, I haven't used it in a couple of months, I can't remember how the hell it works. Looks like it's using exponential moving averages on there, but how they're calculated, how you actually use them, I don't know. So I've gone through and documented about 50 of these indicators in here. So in the next, hopefully a couple of weeks, we'll be able to go to the help section here, where we've got currently our YouTube videos. And this will be redirected to our Bourse website, where I'll have all these basically documents. It'll go through and say, okay, here's what this indicator is, here's what it does, here's the mathematics used for it, and here's how you actually use it in real life. And that'll help you a lot to actually get a benefit out of these indicators, because some of them are just, yeah, they got put into the system, but I've got no idea how to use them either. So that's basically what I wanted to show you in the analyzer part of the software and how it can actually be used. It's really up to you how you use it. As I said earlier, this is the first stage of it. Stage 2 will have the pre-alert indicators in there. Stage 3, I'm starting to get some ideas for it, as in what do you want? Is there any particular formulas that you need in the system that will help you get more benefit out of the software? Also, we want to look at you being able to add multiple of these formulas into your own and create your own formulas that you can use to scan the market with and get this and be able to get your results and then export them into the Bourse Analyser so you can do your analysis. So that's some of the upcoming development work we're doing coming out shortly. Pre-lead indicators, as I've always mentioned, they'll be available in the analyzer and the charts. Contingent orders, so the ability to set your own orders that can be used to basically one creates another orders and also stop losses in the system. We were supposed to have a release last week with a lot of these tools in there. We've held them off because we had to do a critical release or critical fix for our options in the system, where a lot of clients were getting the option screen reloading frequently. We found there's a bug in there, and we want to get that fixed as a critical issue. So that's going to be in the release probably early next week, sort of thing we're looking at. And that's about all I really want to talk about. Now, have you got any questions that I can help you out with? So have you sent through some questions through to me? I'm here to answer them for you. Yeah, send them through. Just having a look. Any questions? Doesn't matter if you have any questions right now. I'll be able to help you with them. Yeah, when you call me up. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to email them through to me. So email through to support@BourseData. Yeah. If you don't have them now, you can always ask me later on. I'm here to help you out with it. Just let you guys try to answer some questions, or ask some questions actually. Also, if you want any particular tools within the Bourse Analyzer, I hope to give you a bit better timeline on when these new tools will be available and when these enhancements will be coming into the software. It's just we've had a bit of a backlog at the moment because we want to fix a couple of critical issues. So saying that, they'll be coming through over the next weeks and months. We've got a lot of things we want to start adding into the software. Yeah. All right. So if you don't have any more questions, I think I'll finish up the webinar now. Obviously, this webinar will be going up onto our YouTube channel. But as always, if you have any questions about the Bourse, you need to have a chat to myself. Maybe you can go to the Bourse Data website. Okay. Feel free to call me on 1300 363 766. That's 1300 363 766. Or send me an email on this Contact Us page on the Bourse Data website.